Oh yeah. All right. Let's see her. Let's see her. Bam, bam, bam. I get the comments to work right tonight. It's what's going on with the comments? What's going on with the comments? Invite group members only receive new. There it is. There it is. There it is. I found the setting. Bam. There it is. What's happening, y'all? Okay, I think I found the setting in my streaming software. I think I can now have you guys show me your names. Kabam. Let me go back in here to Facebook. So what's up, y'all? What's up? Let me see. Bam. See if I'll put that in here. Bam. Well, great to be back. It's like Tony Stark. It's great to be back. What's up? What up, brother? And again, y'all, let me show you something here real quick. Let me show y'all something. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is total chill mode tonight, y'all. Tonight is chill mode. So I'm on the down low, hitting my bong. Yerba Maté. Anybody else drink Yerba Maté? What I'm gonna do, let me see here. Bam. It's the Dark Lord of the Sith. Okay, why is that not showing up? You're trying to give you guys a little bit. I'm adjusting the settings, so give me a second. Let's see. Let us see. We want to go here. We want to go to preferences. Yes, to preferences. Boom, boom, boom. Screen sharing. Include desktop icon and show everything on screen when sharing a screen. Let's see if that does it. Let's see. Let's share screen. Does that show? Yeah, it does. Look at that. Look at that, y'all. All right, so I'm screen sharing. So you guys see this? This is what I see, right? I cannot see whose name is on here, right? So that's the reason why. If I don't call you by name, that's the reason why. Okay? Man, pretty wild. Pretty wild. Ehlers Danlos. Who wants to know about Ehlers Downloads? Downloads. See, until I've been looking on the computer all day today. All right, so just real quick, let me touch on Ehlers Danlos for you hyper um, flexibility people. I love it, but trying to cut back on the caffeine. Yeah, it's technically another xanthine alkaloid known as matine, mostly, because the xanthine alkaloids tend to come along together, right? But anyways, it has a very interesting chemistry to it that doesn't have the same effects as, say, a roasted Arabica bean infusion, also known as coffee. So, uh-oh, my buddy from down under. What's up, Josh? How you doing, baby? just getting back into this Facebook thing. I'm fixing to go live here on TikTok and simulcast in just a second. But I got to give Balance Nation a little bit of love, a little bit of one-on-one time. Uh-oh, it's Big Nate Dog. What's up, homie, homie, homie? You got to come visit, man. You got to come to Florida. You got to come back home. That's right. Because you haven't ripped lip since you ate some Florida ripping lip. Hey now. Okay, so back to Ehlers-Danlos. The thing about it is it, and I know this is going to sound very niche picker type stuff. And if you guys see me, I'm a little low on this. It's because I'm sitting on my stool because I'm just chilling tonight. I'm just chilling. I don't want to have to stand up and be all, hey, what's happening? All right. So, no short man syndrome going on here. Okay. But anyways, when you have an inheritable connective tissue disorder, what we do is in Balance Protocol, we support systems, right? So we don't treat symptoms, we support all systems. And that's what the 2358 framework is, right? So you have the 8 keys of Balance Protocol, which are really the 8 systems. And so what we do is if you have, hypermobility of the joints, you have to strengthen the muscles in their proper angulation, right? And making sure that, you keep the body structurally sound so that way you don't have the problems thereunto appertaining a hypermobility or motility kind of a situation. And then, of course, things you kind of get a little bruisey and stuff. There's a whole kind of a spectrum, if you will, I have found clinically with EDS, but yeah, it's one of those kind of things where we don't treat it. What we do is we support the whole patient, right? And then so the downsides of that inheritable genetic thing doesn't necessarily manifest or express as much, right? So it's always about working on and maximizing your biological terrain. That's about it. That's it. What about chronic pain? Whoever posed that question. And again, you guys, just so you know, I cannot, I'll show you here. Beep. This is what I see. Okay, I cannot see who is posting the question. All right. Chronic pain, well, what kind of chronic pain? It depends upon where it is, what's its behavior. You got to get to the root cause of chronic pain. It's your body saying, hey, help a brother out. That's really what it is. So pain manifests in all kinds of different ways, right? We have to get into your environment, your lifestyle, your mindset, and nutrition. All those things are the sources of the root causes that contribute to imbalances across systems biology that in some people will manifest as pain, and it will do it chronically, right? So what we don't do is go after the pain directly. Now we can, of course, first standing order in the medical world is to do that. Hold on a second, guys. I'm going to go live on TikTok. Stand by. Going to add some TikTokers in here. TikTok, you don't stop, stop, stop. Boom. Man, it's so funny, TikTok. It cracks me up. Higher to the villages, to the villages. Some crazy old folks up in the villages, man. Okay, vote is tonight on the COVID jab tonight, whether it is no longer mandated. Let's see if it gets passed. Florida would be the first state to not make the jab mandated. Well, guess what, y'all? Mandates don't apply. They're a policy. They're not law, and they're not mandated by anybody. It's only if you acquiesce to it. And so you can stay away from all that. What's happening there, TikTok? What's up? What's up? What's up? Nice to see you guys in tonight. Room fills up fast. So TikTok, hey, it's your boy, Dr. Anthony G back. And I am simulcasting. Is that the words? Simultaneously streaming here on TikTok and on Facebook. So if you guys don't follow me over on Facebook and you want to join a cool community known as Balance Nation, that's facebook.com/groups/Balance Nation. you guys can join us over there. A lot of cool stuff, cool people, like-mindedness, not necessarily an echo chamber. And Balance Nation does give it to me sometimes, or they used to, but I'm just now back in there. It's pretty cool. What's happening, you guys? So yeah, so we were talking about the jabby jab and the something being mandated or not. Mandates are not laws. You do not have to comply to mandates. It's a matter of your acquiescence to it or not. That's it. So mandates don't apply. They're just suggestions. So pretty wild. So hey guys, so back to your questions over here on Balance Nation. It says, what are the root causes of hypothyroidism? There's quite an uptick lately. What are the possibilities for resolution besides thyroxine or other bioidentical prescription supports? Well, there's again, there are only 5 root causes to every imbalance or disease known to mankind, and that is covered within the 5 of the 2358 framework of balance protocol, right? And of course, you guys can always go to balanceprotocol.com and you can go and learn about where that comes into play, right? So there are nutrient deficiencies, stressors, microbes, allergens, and toxins. So those are the root causes of hyperthyroidism. They're the same root causes of PCOS, chronic pain, depression, anxiety, any other thing you want to ever. That's it. There's only those 5 things. Okay. So yeah, you can resolve it by shoring up your system's biology. That's the cool thing. So hypothyroidism is just the name it, blame it, claim it, tame it game. And yes, we do use thyroid hormone replacement therapy as a bridge to get you relief and get systems going online while we work through the systems biology using the framework of balance protocol, and we get resolution. It's pretty awesome. Another Kiwi in the house. Hey, great to be back. I'm glad I'm back again. Thank you, thank you. Got lots of folks down in Australia, mate. 15-year drought is over. How about them Vols? Oh, I bet you I can guess who that is. Hey, listen, it's about time. It's about time. But, being the Roll Tide guy that I am, we are Roll Tide family around here. But yeah, Vols are good. My people were some of the founders of Tennessee, just so people know. Fayette County, the Pamplins. It's back on my mama's side. What's up, brother? Whoever says brother over there on Facebook. Got some of my VIPs sneaking up in here. It's pretty cool. Yeah, man, on TikTok, it's been so funny. I don't know if you guys, know this about me, but I just have this disdain for the whole leftist ideology and all that kind of fun stuff, the cancel culture. And literally, listen, I go, when I'm on scrolling through TikTok, I'm going to go on there, and as things come through, you get in that trance. You get 2 thumbs going. Of course, I use a wired connection, so I'm not sitting there roasting myself with my phone. But anyhow, hola, what's happening? The thing is, man, is all the haters that come on feeds. You go look at their profile, and they've got all the virtue signaling icons, and they have blue hair. What the heck is going on with that? Is there a symbol for blue hair? Does blue hair mean something? Let me know in the comments. It's pretty funny. I mean, is that like a thing? It's pretty funny. Okay, off topic, but more important for my financial health and well-being. What is the best thing to invest in for passive income and return stocks, gold, real estate, etc.? I have trouble trusting financial advisors, and I'm seriously pessimistic about the future of the dollar economic growth. Well, being the businessman and the entrepreneur that I am a precious metals and real estate. Full stop. I don't like stocks. I don't like bonds. None of that stuff. I like things that are physical and tangible. So that's my jam. So over there on Facebook, that's my thing when it comes to that. I have a different kind of a situation and status, so that stuff doesn't bother me, because in the time that I've been away from Facebook, I have corrected my political status and I am no longer a United States citizen. I like them apples, so I'm exempt from all that crap. Anyways, colonics, good or no bueno? Colonics can be fabulous. I'm a fan of colonics. I think they can be a very useful clinical tool. They can be overused. That just like with anything, I believe that it really comes down to the context of the individual and what it's being used for. What is the frequency and duration of how long you're applying colonics? But yes, they can be very, very, very helpful. I've seen them just change cases like you would not believe so fast because they take a lot of stress off of a toxic inner tube, right? Blue hair and virtue signaling is totally a thing. Yes, it is. They got the icons, y'all. They got the icons and the alphabet soup stuff going on in their bios. Lots of bots. Yeah, it's true. There's the bots. So yeah, just chilling, 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 chilling. Yeah, that's one of those things about TikTok is you can kind of tell the bots, the ones that don't have like any posts and not any follows or likes. It's kind of like that. But tell us more about no longer being a U.S. citizen. You guys want to get into that tonight? I mean, it is just chill. It's just cafe talk. We could get into that maybe. I'm a little hesitant. I wish I knew who was asking me the question. That would help me because remember, you guys, it's one of those kind of things where, um, I can't see whose name it's coming from. Okay, I can't see whose name is coming from asking me the questions. But I ain't afraid to share. I don't get too personal because I'm not here to field personal questions. Yeah, alphabet soups. That's what I call them. The alphabet soups. Clarissa. Uh oh. Uh oh. Uh oh. What's up, gorgeous? How you doing? Wife's been diagnosed with NASH, non-alcohol cirrhosis of the liver. Scans show fatty liver causing scarring on the liver. What is your experience with this, and what advice would you give to relieve liver of its fat? Well, it needs mineral energy. That's the number one thing. Okay, because see how most people get there is they have this loss of biotransformation ability. So you're putting foods into the body, and it cannot biochemically transform them into self. So what ends up happening there is it depletes your liver's energy to transform things, right? So there's multiple systems that have to come into play, but the first thing is you have to correct your mineral status. Principally, the most powerful concept on that is the cation plus plus, known as calcium. Now, that doesn't mean you start popping a bunch of calcium pills or anything like that. Okay, it's the last name of the calcium that makes the determination of how the body utilizes it and assimilates it. And some people need different forms. There's a difference between calcium orotate, phosphate, all kinds. So at the end of the day, it really comes down to that. But you've got to correct the body's biotransformation ability. That's what food is. It's a biochemical reaction, right? It's enzymes, right? And so it takes a chemical pressure that happens. And if your body has been has a lot of taxation, has been taxed on that a whole lot over time, then of course it's going to impair that ability. And so then therefore the energy from the food that's coming in is going to be transformed and stored more towards fat, lipids. What patients are contraindicated for ozone therapy? Is IR sauna okay for those with breast implants? Well, the contraindications for ozone therapy, let's talk about, first of all, let's not presume that ozone therapy is needed for everybody. I only use it acutely for a short period of time in certain cases, never at the beginning of a clinical case. We don't usually leverage ozone therapy until key 6 of the Balance Protocols 2358 framework, because that's an energy production and oxidative stress tool. Is where we use that. So patients that are contraindicated for ozone therapy or people who have membrane imbalances, either you're too hypopermeable or hyperpermeable. That's the one thing. Number two, people who have an autonomic imbalance. I wouldn't recommend they do that. And then the other thing is people who have excessive microbe status, heavy metals, and or parasites. Because when you start forcing the body into that ozone, the die-off and the Herxheimer reactions are pretty ridiculous. So you got to be careful with that. Is IR sauna okay for those with breast implants? Yes. The answer is yes. IV therapy therapies that I recommend. The only IV therapy that I recommend, there's only two. The principle of which is glutathione. If and when your whole blood glutathione levels are 700 or below, if it's 700 or above, you really don't have to do it because we can do it with foods, amino acids, and certain supplements. No oral glutathione. That's a complete waste of time and money. I don't care if it's liposomal or not. So there's that. And then the second one would be vitamin C. But vitamin C is only necessary in certain clinical cases, such as cancers, plural, okay, and sepsis and different things like that. But other than that, you can do it all orally with vitamin C. It's rarely ever that you need to do it IV. But glutathione is a lovely and powerful tool once your levels are so low. You need to do it with little fast pushes, and I have a protocol for that. So we start out generally at about 800 milligrams, and then we increase by 200 every week, right? So we do two pushes a week at 800, then we go to 1,000, then we go to 1,200, and 14, 16, all the way up to 2,400. And by the time you've done that, so many magical things happen. It's pretty cool. But IV magnesium or B12 or the B vitamins, I think that's it's a waste of time and money. I don't really think that those are necessary. So what's happening there, TikTok? Let me see here. Let me go over there. Dr. Ray, so Pete, unsaturated fats that are unhealthy and damaging to good health. Well, they can be, all right? So Dion, excuse me, I got a little sneeze or something coming up. I think that what has to be understood is context. Fundamental to balanced protocol is the adage of context cubed. Right? So we talk about the value of a property in real estate is dependent on location, location, location. Okay. So the context and understanding of a person's or a patient's case is context, context, context. Okay. So the thing about it is Ray Pete is correct in that polyunsaturated fats or PUFAs can be unhealthy and damaging, not are. This is the problem I have with all the seed oil Nazis out there, right? Is the thing they don't understand that if the oil is, let's say, a organic, non-GMO, cold expeller pressed oil, it can be fabulously nutritive. I use them clinically and therapeutically for decades, okay? So you can't just say that seed oils are bad or PUFAs are bad. Okay? Because no matter what, if you're eating something with lipids in it, PUFAs are coming along. And you're always going to have PUFAs in your membranes. I've never met a patient with zero polyunsaturated fats or zero omega 6s in their cell membranes. And I have done tens of thousands, countless cell membrane studies. And there you have it. Okay, so yes, they can be, right? Because they talk about if these PUFAs are rancid, right? If they're oxidized, exposed to light and or heat, it can present an issue. Yes, it can. Okay, one dose of McDonald's French fries is not gonna, end or kill your health. People just get crazy. They're not having a balanced understanding. But if your entire diet is based upon that, that's where you're going to see these people present these problems. Just like I see people present problems when their whole diet is based upon animal fats, right? Avocado and beef tallow and, bacon grease. Okay, that can create a problem just as much as the PUFAs can. Okay. The problem with the PUFAs is most people are having sources that do not have, um, the vitamin E, right? Those nutritional, fat soluble and controlling antioxidants that come with the source of the PUFA by their virtue and nature. So there's that. So Ray Pete's close, but I disagree with him. And here's what I would have you do, okay? It's always important to take a look at the health and status of the person upon which you're getting your health advice from, right? And pardon me, but Ray Pete doesn't look so healthy to me, okay? Look at his skin, his teeth, his hair, So it's just one of those kind of things. So that's my thoughts on that. TikTok. Anna R, what's happening? Thanks for hitting that like button, pounding that screen, and giving me all those lovely hearts. I really appreciate it. That always feels good. Give me the warm and tinglies. Can I discuss the faulty about the book Dirty Jeans by Ben Lynch? Sure, I can give you opinion. Okay, so here's the deal. There's this concept, okay, that genes, if you have these certain single nucleotide polymorphisms, that they somehow equal something that's bad. And listen, dirty jeans, I think that's a beautiful marketing hook. I mean, think about it. Dirty jeans, because we all have jeans and they get dirty, but we wear them anyways. I think it's an absolute brilliant title to the name of a book. It's just that the premise is off. And I will tell you, the book is actually a little bit more honest than what the postings and the selling of the Seeking Health supplements are. Because the thing behind that is that here's the premise, okay? So Ben Lynch seems to be a super nice guy. Everybody who knows him tends to say good things about him. I've never met him personally, so this is nothing personal about Dr. Lynch. But as far as the concept of genes dictate what your metabolism is, what your health is going to be, or what supplements you should take is crock of shit. It's a total bullshit construct, okay? So that's the big issue of that. So that is the faultiness of the book. So for example, everybody loves to do it. I mean, I'm starting to see contacts where, you see um, this fellow by the name of Gary Brecka, who's out there, and he's the 10X health guy. And you see him out there with Grant Cardone and some of these other guys like Bradley Lee. And what they're doing is and I've seen people on Joe Rogan stuff saying these same kind of things, right? Where they're saying the mother effer gene or the MTHFR gene, the methyl tetrahydrofolate reductase gene. So listen, we have these different genes, right? We have these SNPs that do perform a job and a duty and a mechanism. Okay, just like circadian rhythm, which governs all the genes, you've got the B-mol genes and you have the clock genes. So the thing about them is there's this infinite perturbations of influence of the genes, and just because someone has a single nucleotide polymorphism that aligns with the MTHFR SNP does not mean that that gene is in expression. Okay? Just because you have a SNP doesn't mean it's in expression. And if it is, there's no way of knowing if and if it is, and if to the degree that it actually is. So therein lies the problem with the concept of dirty genes and things like that. What the genes people do is they pick a gene and they become a niche picker on that one gene, and they make everything about that gene. Okay, like the VDR receptor. Okay, that's what Gary Brecka likes to do. Okay, and then he even has made certain claims like vitamin D is the only vitamin we make in the body. We don't make any of the other vitamins. I'm going, well, damn, he lacks some biochemistry, right? That's nuts. I mean, we make the B vitamins from the amino acids, right? So you have to understand there's that. We make niacin. We need it in the citric acid cycle. So that's not true. We can make the vitamins, not all of them, like vitamin C. Okay. But the thing is the problem is that you cannot make any determination from your genes on what you should or should not do vis-a-vis taking supplements. You just can't. What you can do is you leverage them to infer your response to certain medications, right? Because certain medications are going to be cleared through these cytochrome P450s, like 1A1, 1B1, 2D6, 3A4. And yes, you might those might be in an expression to where you might be a hypermetabolizer or a low metabolizer. So if you are given a standard therapeutic dose of a medication and you have a single nucleotide polymorphism for the actual substrate that chemically detoxifies and clears that medication, that explains certain reactions. Like for instance, you can also take certain medications and it upregulate certain genes and therefore could cause you to clear medications more quickly. So like for instance, in my genes, right? I don't clear caffeine very quickly, but if I have a charbroiled burger or a steak, that upregulates the gene temporarily, activates it, that clears caffeine. So I can actually have a nice espresso after a steak dinner. See, so you can play with them, but that doesn't tell me what your supplements should be or not. And that's the biggest issue that I have when it comes to that type of a question is the selling of pills, potions, and powders based upon a gene test. And that's just erroneous. What you want to do, if you want to test what your methylation is, you don't look at MTHFR. You look at methylmalonic acid for B12, formiaminoglutamic acid for folate. You take a look at kenurenic acid for B6. You take a look at RBC magnesium and all the functional markers to how you're methylating or not, and then adjust with that. Not just take something because your genes supposedly does something. So there's the long and short of that. Question is, what is the most common causes of ADHD and what are common imbalances you find in these clients? Okay, well, here's the thing. ADHD, that's another alphabet soup, right? It's one of those kind of name it, blame it, claim it, tame it games. Um, Here's the cool thing. I have what's called the Dr. Beck coma test, okay? And here's the Dr. Beck coma test. If it does not present while the person is in a coma, it is a matter of consciousness. And therefore, it is not real. I've never had a patient in a coma present with ADHD. Never had a patient in a coma with anxiety. I've never had a patient in a coma with depression. You see where I'm going with that? They have had tumors and they have had all kinds of blood disharmonies, contusions, and ruptures, and all kinds of problems, right? So ADHD, the common causes of what is perceived as ADHD, has to do with a matter of consciousness and a person's overall brain health and status, right? Which is key 3 of balance protocol, right? So that's what we do. Now, can certain other systems biology contribute to the manifestation of a checklist of symptoms, which would be called, labeled, or stamped ADHD? Okay. Um, that's the thing. Yes, they can. Okay. So if you have imbalances in the GI, if you have excessive electromagnetic forces in your environment contributing to that. Yes, if you have mineral deficiencies, yes. There's all kinds of things that can contribute to it. Pretty crazy, right? Okay, someone says Paul Stamets showed that mushrooms detoxify the P450. Okay, now that would not be a true statement. Okay, but I like Paul. He's got some cool stuff. He cautions people on the overconsumption of portobellos, and that can be an issue. Mushrooms are one of the most fascinating things out there. The fungal world it's mind blowing. right? So I'm a fan. But to say it detoxifies P450 would not be accurate because that's like saying um, uh, 92 octane fuels automobiles. Well, airplanes are automobiles, but they do not use 82 or 92 octane gas. Okay, so got to be specific. That yes, certain mushrooms can induce and or inhibit some of the cytochrome P450s. That's correct. That would be the correct way to say it. What does it mean when you get cold? Your skin gets blotchy. Well, that's typically something having to do with a vasoconstriction, and I have found that to be associated with an autonomic nervous system imbalance coupled with a membrane permeability imbalance. All right, TikTok, let's get some of your questions. I've been talking to my people over here on Facebook, guys over there, so I'm doubling up tonight. Dion Prasad, welcome back, VIP. See, if you come back a second time, you're a VIP. What are your thoughts on the Ozempic craze and what effects are slamming or alarming and not worth the risks? Okay. Yeah, listen, when any medication comes out, right, there's a huge marketing campaign that goes right along with it. Okay. And you want to know something ironic? As I fill my cup and I drink a little bit of this little tea known as Elixis paraguanesis from South America, it's a GLP-1 inhibitor. Like Ozempic, right? So here's the thing. No, it's not worth the craze. The side effects are crazy. Once you start on that medication, your body wires for its use and function, and it creates a lot of downside. You start see people starting to get that AIDS face, like from protease inhibitor medications. Um, I don't think people need to take medications longer than they need to do to bridge the gap while they fix their environment, lifestyle, mindset, and nutrition. Okay. People aren't overweight or obese because they don't get enough Ozempic. So that's my thoughts on that, Dion. That's awesome. Eating char to break down caffeine. Wish I could keep listening. Well, hey, listen, if you can't keep listening, we're going to post this video over on our YouTube and Rumble. Why do I put it on Rumble? Because YouTube will be censoring a brother. So either way, rumble.com or youtube.com/balance protocol. And then you can watch it. So you won't miss out. Yeah, because eating char to break down caffeine. Well, it doesn't break down caffeine in my body. I can upregulate a gene SNP so I can metabolize caffeine quicker. That's the context. Remember? Make sure I get that right. Pretty well. Uh-oh, MP Gamers in the house. Got a few VIPs in here tonight. So TikTok, I am on live stream at the same time over on Facebook and YouTube at the moment. So if you see me looking at different screens and stuff, it's because I got different things going on. Triple dipping. Question. How do you deal with SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and restoring a healthy balance of bacteria? I've had little, if any, success with ACV and pre and probiotics. But hold on a second. But that's what all the gut experts say. The gut experts. Because TikTok's got a lot of them, right? There's a lot of people out there, gut experts. I find it very interesting that about 85% female under the age of 30. It's a weird little thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Does anybody agree or disagree with that? Man, all the gut experts, man. These pretty girls, they ain't even 35 years old, right? And basically everybody just rehashes the same things that everybody tells everybody. It's pretty funny. So the thing is that how you deal with SIBO is, first of all, not think about the actual concept of SIBO, because I'm not going to presuppose, okay, that SIBO is truly there. Okay, we're supposed to have the microbes that do that. And I will tell you, more times than not, okay, a low FODMAP keeps a person in SIBO as opposed to actually putting the proper stuff in there. And then, of course, taking apple cider vinegar is not going to do it because you don't know if you need more protons or more electrons. And that's the difference between apple cider vinegar and lemon. Okay, one makes you more alkaline, one makes you more acidic. So most people who are stuck in the SIBO and restoring a healthy gut bacteria balance aren't tracking their actual bacteria profile by doing a comprehensive digestive stool analysis or a PCR mapping of the actual genus species of the microbes that are in there. So if you're not qualified, quantify, measure, and monitoring, you're going to have a hard time restoring gut balance. And it's interesting, muy interesante, okay, that your oh man, PC Gamer, hey, thanks for my subscription, man. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate that. That'll make me about $2 a month. Yes. But I like it though, because the cool thing about my subscribers over here on TikTok is those of you who subscribe can have an opportunity to join me on the live, and we can face to face on TikTok. I don't know if you guys have seen that before. That's one of the cool things that we'll be doing, and you get priority in answering your questions. Of course, MP Gamer, you're always doing that. All right, so that's what I said about the SIBO stuff. Yeah, it's good to be back on that on Facebook. Let me see here. I'll do something here real quick. Maybe I can do a screen share with you guys and show you something. Keep your questions coming, guys. I'm seeing them here. I'm just going to take my time to get to it. Go to my documents here. G Drive. That's right. Let the government track me. Sheets. And I'm going to show you guys something here. I'm going to bring this up here. Bring my questions back here to the front. Yep. It's nice to have 3 monitors. It helps me move things around a lot easier in here. Mm-hmm. Hang in there, guys and gals. All right, so let's go. Okay, let's see here. Ideal range for form 1,25 hydroxy vitamin D. All right, so 1,25 hydroxy vitamin D is we call and refer to as the active form of vitamin D, as opposed to the 25 OH vitamin D. So now remember a couple of little fun facts on there. Okay, is when you're looking at the vitamin D levels. Okay, so I'm of the clinical opinion that if ever you're going to be testing your vitamin D status, you have to look at the storage form of D and the active form, because the vast majority of people, what they do is they chase their 25-OH storage hormone problem. That's the issue that I take with the guy I was talking about earlier, Gary Brecka, who tells everybody they have a problem with their VDR gene, and therefore you should buy his vitamin D3 supplement. So we already covered why you shouldn't take pills, potions, and powders based upon gene tests, because the gene test cannot tell you if you need anything, because you don't know if the gene is in expression, and if so, to what extent. When it comes down to vitamin D, it's very easy to prevent vitamin D deficiency by getting enough irradiation from UVB light in the sun. And if you can't do that, buy a lamp. That's what's used clinically, and it works phenomenally. However, I am a fan on certain cases to take about 2,000 IU max, sometimes 5,000 max, two maxes, of vitamin D for a short period of time. But what you're looking for is 30 to 55 nanograms per deciliter. Okay, for all you New Zealanders and people down under, you're going to use a different scale. But so nanograms. Okay, so the dead on balls spot is 35. That's the facts. Okay, why is that? Because there's an active form. Because you can have low 25-OH vitamin D, and your 1,25 can be excessive. It can be a lot. But my range in 1,25 is anywhere from around 18 to 72 picograms per deciliter, right? So picograms. What's a picogram? Well, that's a thousandth of a nanogram. So their storage form is shown in nanograms, and the active form is in picograms. That's your big clue. It's very similar to like estradiol. Okay? So some of these hormones, prohormones, the storage form of it is in a nanogram, which is a thousandth, okay, of a milligram, which is a thousandth of a gram, right? So when you're dealing with that, those are orders of magnitude. So you don't need a shit ton of it. That's the moral of the story, okay? So that answers the question coming from Facebook, what my range usually should be when it comes to that. Anybody got any questions, pushback, or anything like that? Okay, next question was, what do I think about the anal enema wand for water structuring? I'm not making this up. That's the name of it. It's the anal enema. And of course, the father of fraud himself, Dave Asprey, got on board with that and was telling people that they should use it. It's a complete and utter fraud. Yeah, that's it. It's right there along with the Life Wave patch fraud. There's two things that are on the market now that are complete and utter frauds by definition, FRAUD. One, in my clinical opinion, is the anal enema water structuring wand, and the other one are these Life Wave patches. Wait till you guys see what's coming on the Life Wave patches. I have them, I've used them, I've tested them, I've dissected them, and I have sent them off to the lab to be tested for chemicals and all kinds of fun stuff, and I'm going to be sharing it with you guys. So anybody that you see somebody promoting LifeWave patches, you have to question their integrity and their spirit of discernment. That's all I got to say about that. Wait till you see what's coming with that. So no. So that anal enema wand, for those of you guys who don't know, it's this little glass wand, supposedly with this fluid in it that's impregnated with stuff, and you swirl it in water and it structures it. That would be no. No, it doesn't. It's just, it's a good selling hook. It's a marketing. It's a story, right? Are we able to replay this live? Yes, you are. All you got to do is go over to Rumble or YouTube.com/balance protocol, and the video will be posted there. So what's cool about that? Got another question is, what's the best way to increase hydrochloric acid to sustainably improve the breakdown of food? Well, see, here's the thing. This is what I love about questions, both from my Balance Nation group over on Facebook, who is with us tonight, and all my peeps here on TikTok, is that you have a situation where they ask questions that are based upon a presupposition. It's like, hey, Dr. Beck, how often, or no, what's the famous one? Hey, when did you stop beating your wife? And just for the record, anybody tries to take a snippet of this, I don't beat my wife, okay? Now, anyways, so here's the thing. What you have to understand is that we're presupposing, okay, that you need hydrochloric acid. So I'm always going to push back on the question. I like to answer or start questions with questions and get more insight on the individual patient as opposed to treating something like hypochlorhydria. Right? We've got all these fancy Latin terms for things. So what I'd rather do is push back and say, hey, well, what is the presupposition that you need more hydrochloric acid anyways? By what method, matrix, or determination specifically have you determined the need to increase hydrochloric acid? Someone says, can't wait for the results on LifeWave patches. This scam drives me nuts. It is nuts. It's just nuts. Do you guys want a little preview? Do you want a preview? Can you guys give me a second and I'll go grab one? Man, should I show you? I don't know. I'm gonna make you wait. Because you know me, all right? So I'm a big fan of the principle and balance protocol known as Q square M square. So qualify, quantify, measure, and monitor. I'm going to make determinations and statements of opinion based upon skin in the game. Okay, sometimes it's way more than others and stuff after decades, but these life patches are relatively small, new, and they're small, right? And I had a guy on TikTok post a post, and I gave him a little comment, not too snarky, but just like, no, you cannot put a patch on the body and it produce infrared that reflects back into the body and then therefore increases glutathione and stimulates the growth of stem cells. It's wackadoo prima facie. Okay, it's just like you can't stand on the earth and lick the moon. It's impossible. People say nothing's impossible. Okay, well, great. I'll give you $1 million if you can stand on the earth and lick the moon. Go ahead, we'll wait. Okay, so the thing with that is they can't. It doesn't. I'll tell you, there's no contact. All it is a little fiber patch sealed in plastic. It literally looks like those little Curad bandages. Oh man, wait till you get the elemental analysis and you guys see that. You're going to crack up. So anyways, that's kind of how that started. So I had this guy on TikTok send me some of the patches. And I tested them because I want to have skin in the game. I'm like, okay, I'll be open-minded. Sure, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I just had to, take this infrared camera, okay, and look and see, does the patch emit infrared? Well, of course not. Everything bounces off infrared. Okay. And then the other thing is, okay, well, does it reflect infrared? And so I camera videoed it and no, it doesn't. So it doesn't do the things. So then now what I'm waiting on now are the glutathione production labs. So anyhow, it's coming. Y'all gonna get it. You're gonna love it. LifeWave patches. The new fraud. Pretty crazy. Someone says, yes, preview. The question is the anal enema, man, I hope I don't get flagged on here, man. All the leftists go crazy because I made a video on my feed about using borax for a vaginal douche for BV and stuff like that. And I use the term girly parts instead of vagina. And they are triggered. They are so mad that I said girly parts. See, they don't know I'm from North Carolina and I'm country and we use terms like that, like y'all and folks. Anyways. The iTerra Hertz frequency wand. No, it's not the same as that, but that is equally a fraud as well. But a way more expensive one. So, no, that doesn't happen. No. See, you guys, what they do is they come up with these cool little spins of things. And, it's unfortunate. But that's something that will continue to outlast all of us. So, there's that. Someone says, I think the anal enema is dubious, but is Asprey going to put his stamp? on this. If it's woo, yes, he is the king of that stuff. I don't care for him whatsoever, nor the claims that he makes. He will get behind so many fraudulent things, like his books. Like, one of the things that people don't know about him is he doesn't write his books. He uses a ghostwriter. Her name is Jody Lipper. So, anyways, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Someone asks me. Let's see what they ask me here. Let's go back to the screen share. Okay. The question is, what are your best pieces of advice for marketing our alternative health practice and get clients that are motivated to change? What if we are not qualified to order and interpret lab results? Can we still resolve root causes? Okay, wow, that's a great question. Holy moly, I wonder who that's from. Okay, the best advice for marketing alternative health practices is to step away from alternative health. I am not a fan of that. I'm not an alternative health practitioner. I'm not a holistic practitioner. I like science. I like things that are based in repeatable clinical reality. Okay, so there's all kinds of alternative stuff. I get that people do that. I just want to clarify that term. Here's the thing, and it's what I do. So, if my best advice for marketing an alternative health practice is to teach patients, teach them, show them how they are a unique individual, a category of one, as I say. Okay. Don't treat diseases with alternative means. Don't tell people, oh, well, you got to get rid of your hydrochlorothiazide or your beta blockers, and you just got to do Celtic sea salt and cayenne pepper, like Barbara O'Neill's doing. That's not true. It's just simply not true. Okay. Now, I don't do what the leftists do and say, you're going to kill somebody. Hey, buyer beware, to each his own. That's the way it works. Okay. So I'm not gaslighting. But I'm simply saying that people need to know what makes them different than everybody else, because not everybody has the same exact arrival path to any type of disharmony as another person with the same diagnosis. So that's the first thing. If you want to get clients that are motivated to change, what you have to do is you have to teach them things. That's what I tend to do, right? Because we know out there in the world, we want people to know, like, and trust, not know or like or trust. It's and. So you got to be out there and let people know you're there. Okay. Then you got to be likable. I'm somewhat likable. I've been told kind of cute. I'll take it. Okay. But then they have to trust you. How do you do trust? By showing a spirit of discernment, by saying, hey, here's my opinion and here is why, and here's how I would teach you to apply it to you. That's the difference, okay? So then that brings me to the next part of this question. What if you're not qualified to order and interpret lab results? Then don't order and interpret lab results, okay? Don't. That's the whole thing, okay? So, like, for instance, in medical practice, we have medical assistants, and they do what's in their lane and scope. Nurse practitioners, boom, bam, bam. Physician's assistant, bam. Docs, this. Chiropractors, this. Don't ask me about surgery. I'm not a surgeon. I don't have skills with a scalpel. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I don't know how to anesthetize anybody, okay? But people say, "Oh my gosh, Dr. Beck, well, you're not an MD." Exactly, I'm not an MD. I've never said I am. I don't pretend that I am. I don't want to be. I didn't choose that path at all. Okay, but guess what? Podiatrists, toe and foot dudes, they're MDs. Do you want to trust them in your nutrition? You want to trust them with your heart? So it doesn't matter if someone's an MD or not. See, that's all real shallow level one thinking people, anyways, that love logical fallacies. So I'm also honest with people out there, these health coaches who mean well, or functional health coaches or functional nutritionists. Some of that stuff you can learn to do. You're not going to learn it from IFM or Functional Medicine University or Kresser or Kalish or any of that kind of stuff. Okay, that's all marketing to sell supplements. Every one of those is just for that. It's a marketing scheme. It's based upon my personal experience and personal opinion. Okay. So you have to recognize the patient as a category of one, get context of their unique story. You got to qualify, quantify, measure, and monitor with labs. You can learn those labs, but I caution you to interpret them or order them. What you want to do is you want to go and you can send them just like me. I'm not just the gatekeeper of it. You can go to directlabs.com and get just about every dang test you ever want as a patient. You don't have to come to me. Okay, but you need to interpret it. What does it mean when you're just going to googly? And the next thing you know, you're going to find, when you Google, all you're going to find are all the blogs and articles and content creators, ghost writers, okay, paying to be on the first or second page of Google. It's not any truth. You got to get to the books. Remember the card catalog, the Dewey Decimal System, texts. It takes a lot, okay? But the patient's unique story needs to be central to it, and you always have to do what's in the best interest of the patient, And unfortunately, patients oftentimes want a pill for every ill. Well, doc, can't I just take some turmeric and, take some CBD, and some XYZ and some BP 157, and then rub these crystals on my nipples? And can I just sleep under a pyramid and put some organite thing and then ground my mat and eat some kimchi and kraut and stay away from the anti-nutrients and eat a bunch of meat? No. So I think it's a tough thing to do. Great question, because I train clinicians for a living, so I just spend a lot of time on that. I'm glad somebody liked my stand on the earth and lick the moon comment. I had to come up with something that was impossible. Okay, because everybody says nothing's impossible. Okay, so seriously, the anal enema wand gave me the leaks, the shites. No joke. Made no other changes during this time. I totally didn't believe it would do anything, but it was literally like an enema. Well, that's weird. I don't have an explanation for that. That's right. I know. It's analemma. Analemma. But but really, who sat down around the table and said, "Listen, we've got this new technology. What are we going to call it? Well, what is it? It's a glass rod that's structured, and we're going to call it anal emma." I'm just flabbergasted by it. Well, all my questions are coming from Facebook tonight, which is fine. I love the nation. All right. Seaweed, beneficial for everyone. Yes. The answer is yes. I don't know too many. I really can't come up with too many realistic things where seaweed would be contraindicated. And let that be a litmus for you also. Whenever you're thinking about stuff, you have to think along the lines of, is there an inclusionary and is there an exclusionary criteria for anything you take? Okay. There are people that have no business taking B12. There's people who have no business taking vitamin D, right? There are things that can be helpful that can also be just as equally harmful. Anyone who should not take it. No, I love seaweed, man. Listen, frequency and frequency seaweed depends upon how much. Remember, in balanced protocol, we talk about source, form, dose, frequency, and duration, both for nutrients and if they're poison. Okay? So source, form, dose, frequency, duration. I think working seaweed, it's a food. It's a food. Work it in every day. Now, do I think you should have a pound of celery a day? I mean, of a seaweed or bladderwhack or anything like the kelp a day? No. I think you can. Your bowels will usually tell you when you've had too much. Another question. Is there a case for using calcium for people with osteoporosis? Well, of course there is. But not just, okay, you have osteoporosis or bone loss, start taking calcium. Well, first of all, calcium what? What's the last name? Calcium carbonate, calcium citrate, calcium orotate, calcium gluconate, calcium diphosphate. The last name is of need, the last name of the calcium, the need of said is determined by your electrochemistry. And we determine that through a series of salivary and urinary pH. See what you're doing. Some calciums will move your pH more alkaline, some will move you more acidic. And osteoporosis people can be both or either. Not both. It could be either or, not both. The bioavailability form like lactate. Well, the bioavailability of a mineral with a last name, a chelate or otherwise, its bioavailability is determined upon the individual's unique biochemistry. Okay? So some people need calcium carbonate. Some people need calcium carbonate that had an acid poured on it and made into calcium citrate. Okay? Some people need calcium lactate. Just depends. Plus K and D. Okay, most docs don't advise calcium lately. Well, here's the thing on that. Again, it goes back to calcium. It's like, say, hey, you need an automobile. And I go, oh, you do? And then I roll up and I give you my Kawasaki motorcycle. You're like, hold on a second, I can't drive that thing. Well, you said you needed an automobile, so I gave you an automobile. So you can't just say calcium. You need, well, what kind? What's the context, remember? So that's important. So the thing is it depends upon the type of calcium. You need to get it from food, but in many times people do need to supplement with it. I don't take extra calcium. I'm 51. But as far as osteoporosis, you are not going to rebuild bone nor prevent loss of bone if you do not exercise. Period. You must have load on the structure. That is the primary signaling mechanism. Secondary is connection to a grounded connection. That's it. The third is the nutritional component to it. Then there's a hormonal component to it. Okay? It's always multifaceted. It's never easy. It's not a pill, potion, or powder that you can take. Okay? No, you don't have to take vitamin K when you take calcium or D. You need to take K if you are deficient or insufficient in K. That's another marketing thing. Well, you have to take K2 so the body knows what to do with the calcium. Listen, your body is divinely created and it does not need vitamin K to tell it what to do with calcium. That's not true. Do we need vitamin K? Yes, but it is rare. Rare. In my clinical experience for 27 years, tens of thousands of patient labs later, most people are not deficient in K. Maybe 10, 12%. That's it. Going on to the next question. Look at these questions. Look at these. Okay. Question is, what is your opinion on low-level laser therapy for pain, weight loss, and quitting smoking? I think some of you guys are ringers, man. You just give me softball questions. It's pretty good. I love triple LT, also known as photobiomodulation, which is the other part where the life wave patch fraud comes into play, is they're calling those life wave patches photobiomodulation. So, wow, just wow. Makes me want to call up James Carroll. You know, he's the guy who trained me on a bunch of stuff, and he's the one who has Thor lasers. But anyways, I think they can be great for pain. They can also do absolutely nothing for pain. Weight loss, nothing. Quitting smoking, yes. I have used a targeted uh, laser, low level laser, to auricular points, which do address a stimuli to the nervous system to help a person as part of a comprehensive program to quit smoking. But in and of itself, just putting light on you. Supposedly, not sure if it's 100% true, but Asprey took modafinil for a long time and said the benefits were from his supplements. Yes, that's my understanding as well. I love modafinil. I'm not on it right now, even kind of hyped up. Maybe it's the mate. But modafinil is a lovely molecule. Stays with me a long time. I'm a low dose guy, and it freaking lasts me a long time. And I might use it, once or twice a month. That's about it. Jewelry an issue due to EMF conductivity. It can be if you are in an EMF rich environment. It can contribute to some issues depending upon the type of EMF and the duration that you're within it. Sure. Someone says that Google searches are such a sad affair these days, and there are many websites you visit for reliable. Is there any websites you visit for reliable research protocols and no BS info? Nope. And it's the reason why I don't do one. People said, Beck, why don't you do a blog? Why don't you have a website with all this information, right? Because I don't want to be a fraud like Dr. Axe and Jungers and all those guys. Okay, that's what they do. They have content writers and Wellness Mama and all these other kind of things and Mind Body Green, and there's good information in there, but there's a lot of BS and it's tough. I wish it was that easy, right? It's like going to a website on how to have a successful marriage or to be a fantastic parent, right? It's tough. So, nope, there are none. I don't publish one because of that. So, thoughts on carnivore diet? I've mentioned the carnivore diet quite a bit. It can be a useful clinical tool for a short period of time, but again, it's one of those kind of things to where it's a niche. It is a marketing hook. It's one of those things where people are doing it because it's cool. Because listen, I love meat. I freaking will get down. But as per Balanced Protocol, you may or may not know, but we eat everything. We eat all plants, all animals, all nuts, seeds, beans, lentils, legumes, right? Grains, fruits, vegetables, all of it is edible. And you should eat all of it. Balanced Protocol thing is varied and diverse. That's the principal nutritional thing. We don't have a diet, we have a nutrition. Okay. So balanced nutrition is eating from all the different food groups in a variety from different sources, right? So as far as carnivore is, just eating all meat, and of course, you start having the problems. So then they're going to say, well, you got to make sure you have adequate hydration. You got to start taking some electrolytes. Well, if it's so amazing, why do you have to take those? And then there's like, well, then you can have honey and some fruits and mangoes and stuff like that. Well, that's because there's a problem in the deficiency of meats. There's no one substance on the planet that has all the nutrition that you need. Okay? Not moringa, not sea moss, okay? Not nothing. You got to eat everything. And historically, through the sands of time, humans, they ate everything. What is the exclusionary criteria for chlorella? So, chlorella is marvelous. I think it's a food. But as far as the exclusionary criteria is if you have excessive copper, right? So chlorella does have a significant amount of copper relative to zinc in it. And if you're copper toxic and your plasma copper is above, say, 125, then I would not take the chlorella to get that balanced. Green tea, same thing. Green tea is a marvelous botanical. It's a great drink. A cup a day, 2 cups a day, you're going to do fine. You have to take a lot to really get excessive amounts of things like ECGC that's within it and the other stuff. But it can create a problem because it can create a TH1, 2, and 17 imbalance if you consume too much of it or its extract ECGC and supplements. So I wouldn't recommend that for people who have autoimmune or immunological imbalances. Someone says, you mentioned LifeWave. What is your opinion? My opinion is the LifeWave patch from the multi-level marketing company that puts it out there is a complete and utter fraud. Capital F, capital R, capital A, capital U, capital D. That's it. It does not do what they claim it does. It just can't. It's silly. It's placebo. It is a money-making hierarchy. And I'm an unapologetic capitalist, right? I love capitalism. I sell stuff too. So anyways, that's my opinion on LifeWave. And those who sell it, of course, are going to say, well, I've looked at the science. Okay, well, you've looked at the propaganda from the company that sells it, just like the Kangen water people. They say, here's the science. Well, as a clinician who's tested all of those, I find it to be baloney. Okay, TRT, yay or nay, over 40. Testosterone replacement therapy? Yes, I think it's a fabulous thing if done and kept at physiological dosing. I think you should correct your system's biology and enhance your biological terrain so you don't have to do it. I'm 51. I don't take TRT because I don't have a problem. I'll do a cycle from time to time. Sometimes I just kind of know where I'm at. I do it based upon the time of the year and other things that I'm exposed to, so I use it as a tool. I like injections. I like pellets. Would you utilize it yourself? Yes, I would, and I do. How often do post balance protocol do patients need it? I'd probably say it's about 50-50. It's about 50-50, right? Because once you go through balance protocol, doesn't mean everything's perfect. You're not going to be perfect, and sometimes you go off track, and you gotta kind of have to come back home. You need a little help, so that helps, and that's not a problem. Does TRE help with vagal tone? That would be trauma release exercise or tension release exercise if you're kind of basic. I believe it can. I think it's a very useful tool for vagal tone because part of the technique of doing it is releasing tension from the body, and then of course you're supine and you're laying down, and it affects how you breathe, chills you out, so you don't have that autonomic nervous system taxation. So I think it can be great. I am a fan, big fan. The work of Dr. Leland Stillman align with the principles of balance protocol. Not anymore. I know he studied and worked with you for a while, or maybe he still does. No, we had a parting of company because I found that his principles, values, and ethics do not align with mine. So it was a sad and unfortunate affair. But no, he has abandoned balance protocol, as far as I know. It's a shame, but that's what happens. When you have the things that happen. It's a tough subject, and it's a sad day. But I've trained lots of clinicians over my tenure, and some people decide to you know do certain things, and use things and be grifters, and that happens. And then they move on. But no, not at all. Trained with me for about a little over 6 months and didn't train fully through all the protocols, so doesn't know it or how to apply it. So that's unfortunate. Unsalted almonds, peanuts daily, good or not? I think so. I think they can be delicious. They're great foods. How long before colonoscopy should not partake in? I don't think it has anything to do with the colonoscopy. Okay, they're going to see past anything that you eat anyways. The colonoscopy, if you're sticking the camera up your booty, you're going to basically be, a prep. They want to clean things out, move the bulk. So that's that. I prefer salted almonds, right? I like mine salted and toasted. Right? I'm a Blue Diamond almond fan. Some people don't like them. I think they're fantastic. People worry about the glyphosate and all the different things like that. I mean, we can worry about all kinds of things, but in reality, I don't think it panned out to be a problem. People worry about, the oxalates that are in almonds that can present a problem if you're eating excessive amounts or just drinking, 4 cups of almond milk a day every day for months. Yes, they could be an issue. But yeah, I think almonds, nuts, and seeds and all that kind of fun stuff are great foods. Any way to reverse macular degeneration? Yeah, there is. The answer is yes, depending upon the patient, but there's a lot of therapeutics we can use. Cryotherapy and or ice baths, yay or nay? Well, cryotherapy I think is kind of silly. Most people go and they get in that chamber, with the little feet thing and the little gloves on, and we go, and it's like, you know, um, Han Solo getting into the carbonite chamber, and then they never come back. Or they'll do just 2 or 3, and then you kind of never go back. I think it's one of those things where it's just kind of cool, like oxygen bars, right? Ice baths, they have their clinical utility, but I see them create a lot of problems. Of course, see, these are certain things that I call spectacles. So when you have things like methylene blue on the tongue, and you got your blue tongue, and you have people jumping into the ice baths and going, my goodness, right? Those are all spectacles. That's great for entertainment, and it's great for content in the info space, right? I think that's what that's all about. But yes, ice baths have clinical utility and can be amaze balls, but they can also create a lot of problems. Okay. Okay. Question is, ooh, this is a sensitive one. Who wants to get into it? How do you treat genital herpes? Is it possible to clear the virus? Can you talk about successfully treating viruses in general? Okay. It's a big topic. Well, here's the thing. The answer is how do you? It depends upon the patient. Okay. So in other words, I am of the wiring is I am not in alignment with germ theory. I'm a biological terrain guy. Okay. I believe viruses are a form of exosomes. Okay. I believe that because they're not living, they're ejected vesicles that have an information in them and they can be transmitted. Okay, this is where I disagree. Okay, with my colleague Tom Cohen, um, and his contagion myth and stuff. So some people align with it, some people don't. But my clinical experience is that viruses, exosomes, can be transferred from person to person by different means as far as them presenting to the genitalia and creating an issue there. That is a matter of correcting the person's biological terrain, shoring up and balancing their immune system and response, and then actually going after them with a protocol which causes a shock to um, various organ systems. We have to leave it at that. Okay, so we do use various um, um, you know molecules such as chlorine dioxide, various pharmaceutical medications that are anti-parasitic medications, and then we do a couple of other things that I'm not comfortable saying out here on TikTok, which can get me banned, and then I can't ever hang out with you guys again. Okay, but yes, you can. It takes some work and some time, but yes, it can be done. Okay, it's not easy, but it's totally doable. How about that? Man, this has been good tonight. We've had a lot of fun. What's going on? What's going on? A little slow on TikTok tonight. Only 9,000 likes over there tonight, but I appreciate it. My VIPs are in there helping me out. Pretty fun stuff. I'm just sipping on a little bit of yerba mate. Traditional style where you put the herb in there. So we call this the mate, and this is just a filtered straw called a bombilla. The person who introduced it to me was a one Gaston Nunez, who was a missionary from down there in Argentina, and he taught me about yerba mate, and I've been hooked ever since. And I've been using this pot ever since. I've had this doggone pot right here for, man, 25 years, long time. Probably longer than that. When did I get that? 93? Yeah, wow, almost 30 years. I was ridiculed for saying that as a disinfectant, methylene blue can negatively affect your microbiome. Oh, yeah, it can. It certainly can. I don't care the benefits for people who have a healthy GI. There is a real danger of making it worse. What do you think? Yes, I think you can. Methylene blue is a molecule that we use in balance protocol in key 6, which is energy production and oxidative stress. We don't use it early on, but just like anything, okay, too much lactobacillus acidophilus can negatively affect your microbiome. Not enough Akkermansia, mucinophilia. Too much Akkermansia can do it. Okay, curcumin. Too much curcumin can create a problem there. Oregano oil. You name it. All the things that people take. Everything tends to have an upside and a downside. There are certain things that don't. Okay, like for instance, I've got something that I'm going to be marketing. I'm going to let you guys know. It is an amazing formulation that I've put together that actually doesn't have any contraindications that I'm aware of, and it's great for every population. Can't wait. So I sent off the new labels to the printer today, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be pretty amazing. So I'll be selling you guys on something too. Snake oil salesman. So if we wanted more info on protocols, where do we go? Well, that's a great question. You're going to go to balanceprotocol.com. That's where it is. That's the home. I created a free course. It's no cost or obligation. It's 3 modules. It's called Balance Protocol Prime. It's the prime understanding. Okay. And go through that course and get an understanding of what Balance Protocol is and the principles and tenets that are around it. So balanceprotocol.com, that's where you start. So if you want to learn more about that, that's where we go. Viruses can be removed from the body, question mark. How do you know when it's gone? Antibody test negative. Oh, that's a great question. Yes, viruses can be removed from the body. Better stated, your body can become a place where it no longer produces these viruses. Yep. You don't necessarily know when it's gone per se, so that's kind of hard to say. You can't do antibody tests. They're not real accurate and clear. They're not going to catch every one of them, right? There are organs and tissues of the body that will produce viruses, and therefore, they'll hide them, and they're not necessarily tested for, testable. Are you still offering Enviro course? Yes, the Enviro course is still there. It sure is. It's an investment, but it's 50 hours of instruction. It's pretty awesome sauce. I try not to, always try to sell you guys stuff, but let you know I'm here to help you. But yes, you can go to balanceprotocolenviro.com if you'd like to enroll in the test, or the test, the course, balanceprotocolenviro.com. The price is lowered than when I had it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. So I lowered it. So there's a savings there, which is pretty cool. I lowered the price by $600. Pretty cool. My man, Matt Justice, where you been, man? Where the hell you been? When you gonna call a brother? I mean, what's going on? Yep, can't see the names. It's crazy. Here, I'll show you. Look at this. 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 Can you look at this? Look at that. It just says Facebook user. I don't know how to fix that. With my streaming software that's streaming to Facebook. So, what's up, man? Hey, and matter of fact, brother, I sent you I answered your question about that person. I think you guys sent me a question on that. No, or was that somebody else? Got two Matts in my life. But man, hey, listen, you got a great recovery story. We got to get together, brother. We got to get it on. We got to show people those arsenic levels, brother. That'll crack people up. That's a good shocker. Do you believe we create our own illnesses with our thoughts? I believe you can. I don't think we do. Okay, because I taught there's terms that can and does versus may. Okay, and will, right? So there's different things. So do you believe we create our illnesses with our thoughts? No, I do not believe we do. We can. So we can create illnesses, just like you can reverse illnesses with thoughts, especially like placebo devices like LifeWave patches. See what I did there? That was pretty smooth. That's a little button up to what we were talking about earlier. Or our reality can change just by changing our thoughts. Yes, it can. And I love my boy Bruce Lipton and the biology of belief. Anybody who knows me knows that's amazing. And yes, you can. You can listen. If you could do the best things in balanced protocol, but if you skip key 3 and you don't get your mindset and your cognition, your belief system, and play and connection and service to your fellow man, if you're not doing those things, you're not going to be able to ultimately heal completely. We are beings of thought and consciousness, and that has an effect all the way down to the cellular level. And so we must adjust for that. Yeah. But here's the problem. Like you said, this is a big message in the energy healing world. But the energy healing world, they're very dogmatic and obtuse in thinking that's all that it is. Let me tell you something. You can do all the prayer, meditation, you know, Joe Dispenza, my boy Richard Bandler, NLP. You can do all that stuff, trauma release exercises, and it ain't going to fix copper toxicity, zinc imbalance, magnesium deficiency, folate deficiency, B12 deficiency. Okay, you can think, you can't think your way out of pancreatic parasites. Okay, if you got ocular parasites or worms or in your brain, you can't pray the worms away. Okay, you can't energy heal, Reiki, guiding light, and start talking like this and singing bowls and Nam Yo Renge Kyo. None of that stuff. is going to get rid of something that's structural or tangible or biological terrain that has some type of molecular involvement. It's just not. But here's the flip side. You can't do all of that and be messed up in the brain and be toxic and have previous trauma and anger and resentment and no love, no affection, none of that kind of stuff. What's up, Maggie Rose? Love you, girl. Love you stuff. Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, so it's a balanced understanding, right? So you want to make sure that you see that the body is a complex, divinely created entity. We are multifaceted, very complicated. There is the physical part of things, and then there is the mental and spiritual things, okay? Both have equal importance. You must do both in all of them. But the key is, and this is what Balanced Protocol does, is order of operations. Order of operations is critical. It's just like in math. You ever see those little quizzes that come up on Facebook or TikTok that says, hey, solve this problem? Because it's got add and subtract, multiply, divide, parentheses, not parentheses, above the line, below the line. And if you don't do it in the right order of operations, you're going to get the wrong answer. Well, that's what I'm saying, okay? So you can do a lot of the right things, but in the wrong order, and you will not get the correct outcome. Someone says, love your work. Well, I love my work too, and I love that you love my work, and I will continue to serve, educate, motivate, and inspire as much as you guys continue to ask for it. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. It's getting me a little grayer than we all started a few years ago, but I've earned it. My wife says she loves it, so I'm cool. Someone says, a patient comes in with stage 4 lung cancer looking on the verge of death. What would you do to quickly heal? Well, you're presupposing we need to quickly heal. It always seems to me that balanced protocols seem lengthy to implement if the patient is short on time. Yes, but that's the way it works. We don't shortcut. Listen, cancer takes years, okay? Years to develop. It takes years to develop, particularly at stage 4. Doesn't happen overnight, didn't happen a year ago, didn't start 2 years ago. So you're not going to quickly heal it in a matter of days, weeks, or months. You're not going to pray the cancer away. You're not going to lay on the hands the cancer away. You're not going to laugh the cancer away. You're not going to apricot pit the cancer away. You're not going to do chlorine dioxide the cancer away. You're not going to black seed oil the cancer away. You're not going to do any of that stuff. Okay? You have to fix the person's environment, lifestyle, mindset, and nutrition, and that takes time. That's the way it works. Okay? So that's what it is. Balanced protocol is lengthy. I make no qualms or apologies about it. Okay, that's the truth. Patient short on time, they shouldn't have made bad choices. They're responsible for it. In life, you get what you negotiate and tolerate, whether you like it or not. Regarding germ theory, I've heard some people claim that microbes do not matter and that people with strong immune systems are completely immune to infections. All right. See, I'm just going on the words. See, words are clumsy tools. Okay, words are clumsy tools. So answering this properly required a lot more context of the person asking the question. To claim that microbes don't matter on the face of that statement, that's bogus. Of course they matter. What microbes are we talking about? We talking about ones that are part of our, biosphere or ones that are foreign to it. Okay, so they do matter, and people with a strong immune system are completely immune to infections. That's not necessarily right or wrong. That's a toughie to answer based upon just the question and the words. Obviously, people and animals are susceptible to infection. Where does the line between germ and terrain meet? Okay. Oh, that's a great question. I wonder who's asking me that question. That's so good. Okay. The line between germ and terrain. We come in contact with a crap ton of microbes, bacteria, fungus, virus, parasites, and the body is able to respond to them with a competency. Okay? But you can have a strong immune system, and then that strong immune system can instantly turn weak in a day due to excessive stress and trauma, temperature, circadian rhythm aberrations, and then blam, now their presence can take a hold and create a reaction. So that's the difficulty, right? Is shoring yourself up from those and then not being exposed to those. It's a little bit more things like that. Okay? So I'm not afraid of infections. Okay? It's proof that the body's responding correctly. When you get a little, pimple, a little comedome, and your body reacts to that infection, that's say Staph aureus, okay? Your body responds immunologically. It's not a big deal that you got that pimple. Okay, it's how long it stays there and does the body ever resolve it. Okay, but having a pimple does not mean that you're susceptible to infection. It means the body's intelligence is doing exactly what it needed to do. Okay. Okay, TikTok says, what do you do with a 16.7 high sensitivity CRP? Great question, Kim. What do you do with it? Well, it's a non-specific biomarker for a state of inflammation. So we have to do a workup on more systems biology so we can apply the scientific method to deduce and form a hypothesis as to what's contributing to the status of a high sensitive CRP level that is 16.7. Okay, we'd have to see because it doesn't tell you specifically what's causing it. We have to dig deeper. Can we cure neuropathy? Can we cure neuropathy? The answer is yes, we can. Will we? It's up to you. Is it quick and easy? No. Right? Is there a chance that you're going to do it on your own? Slim to none. But is it doable? Countless times I've helped patients do it. What are your favorite labs you like? Okay. Well, my favorite lab, if I had to pick, right, is a Genova Diagnostics Nutrival Plasma. Costs you about $550, and you can get it at directlabs.com. You don't have to get it through me. Okay? But if you want me or my team to interpret it or consult you on that, that's a different story. Okay? I have a program called Balance Protocol GPS, which includes it, and we walk you through all of that. Okay? So if you would like assistance doing that, you can actually go to balanceprotocolgps.com. That's balanceprotocolgps, getprotocolstarted.com. Okay, and that'll tell you about that. Shameless plug. But Nutrival Plasma is my favorite lab. I got all kinds of other favorites, but we'll start with that one. MCAS or mast cell activation, do you work with this to determine cause and help eliminate it? The answer is yes, and I'm glad you asked it like that. Determine the cause and help to eliminate it. That's the goal of Balance Protocol. Balance Protocol is a systemized approach of applying a systems biology to determine and identify the root cause of complex chronic diseases and eliminate it. That's what we do. All right, got about 15 more minutes. I'm going to call it quits at 10 o'clock. 2 hours on this, so that way the video is not so long. And again, if you guys want to go and check out the actual things, you can head over to YouTube and make sure you subscribe and get the notifications and like it. Remember those little things we asked for. And you can go to youtube.com/balance protocol, or you can go to rumble.com/balance protocol. I get asked this question a lot. Your opinion on David Sinclair and his longevity protocols. Okay. I do not align with them. To my knowledge, David Sinclair, his research and work, we all have one, is based upon rodents that live in a lab under artificial light within cages who are fed a highly 100% processed, non-native to them diet, right? So when you have rats, mice in cages in artificial LED or incandescent lights, or not incandescent lights, or fluorescent lights, and you feed them pellets and controlled lab food, and they're nocturnal beings, so their circadian rhythm and genes is not like humans, and then you give them certain molecules and then extrapolate that to humans, I believe that is a fatal error. So I do not support his protocols. I think it's stupid and silly for people to take supplements for things with cocktails of medications like metformin. So that's my opinion on that. Him as a person, don't know him, have no idea. But listen, I've looked at his work and I've looked at the protocols, and I think it's bogus. And he got everybody excited about NMN, and we just don't need it. And you can go look up his involvement in NMN and what's happening to it and it coming off the market, but it just so happens to be a primary shareholder in the company who makes it. So, conflict of interest. Favorite modalities for key 3. What is key 3? What are they referring to for those of us not familiar with the 2358 or balance protocol? Key 3 is the mind and cognitions system of the protocol. So my favorite modalities for key 3 is, of course, breathing, prayer, meditation, trauma release exercises, neuroplasticity games, boom, 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 reading, study, research, writing. Those are my favorite modalities for key 3. Okay? And play. Don't forget to play. You got to frolic. You got to be as a kid to enter the kingdom of heaven. It's your secret, right? Because kids got it going on. I see mine sitting over there on the floor doing that. Really, Daddy? Yes. My little princesses. All right, so you want to get me a bunch of likes? You want to come over here and hop on camera, show the kids, see what it's all about? You don't want to? Are you shy? All right, we'll give you one here real quick. Hi, this is my littlest one. This is Princess Adeline of Florida. Well, you smell good. You must have showered.
Nope.
No?
What?
That's just your natural effervescence?
I took a bath at Nana's.
Oh, you took a bath at Nana's. Yes, this is my little mini me right here. All right, you got to come do it. Dude. Peer pressure. Oh, come on. Just give that. Pretend the cameras aren't here. Come on. Come on. You have no question. Get over here now. This is my older one, my 10-year-old. Look at this big one right here. Oh.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. Very nice. All right, girls, I'll put you to bed in a minute, okay? Off you go. Oh boy, that's what it's all about right there. That's your best key 3 right there. So I'm gonna rewind, okay? Hugs, love, physical contact, hugs, kisses, smooches. That's my number 1 right there. Who are your favorite mentors? Well, I never had a mentor. Never had one. I had to learn on my own. There are people whose work I studied, but none of them ever mentored me. I had to do it all on my own. Any protocols for emphysema? Yes, you got start with balanceprotocolenviro.com. That would be it. That's the first protocol. Balance protocol Enviro. It's so funny. So when you go to the website, you'll see that it's broken up into 6 modules. Okay, the first of which is air, then water, then light, then sound, then EMF, then food. Okay, so if you have problems, in your breathing, in your lungs, and things like that, in emphysema, you've got to correct your environment, and the first thing in which is your air. You're never going to make it unless you're doing that correctly. What are your favorite performance enhancers once all systems are in balance? Ooh, that's a good one too. All right. For the easiness, of course, is light. Okay, so I really do enjoy light, both sunshine primarily, and then infrared light, and then of course my mitogen light bed. So light would be the first one if you're thinking about things like that. It's performance enhancing. The other thing is listen, modafinil is awesome. Then you have caffeine, and then you have nicotine. Those 3 are phenomenal, and you can do a lot of things with those. So if you want to go performance enhancers, that's where I would go. Opinion on protein powders, dairy or plant-based? Yes, both. I think they both are fantastic. As long as they don't have all the additives and stuff and they come from a good quality and you don't make your whole protein source from those. But yes, like for instance, I like Naked. That's right, I like to get naked. So Naked Company has been consistently good. Now listen, like Vital Proteins was good at first, then they had some problems, and then they had problems again. So, if you guys know something about naked and they turn out they were, I don't know, trafficking kids in Cambodia and that's where they make their whey protein, let me know. But anyways, I think for the fact that it doesn't have any other things in it, I like that. So they make a pea, an egg, a whey, a rice. So I like all of them. I think varied and diverse is the key when it comes to protein. Okay? You guys gonna make me stand up. Hey doc, had a slip and fall at a restaurant. Any recommendations on pursuing legal action? Yes. The answer is yes. First thing you do is you send them a notice. You file a claim. Notice of claim. Give them 30 days to respond. Compel their insurance and bond information. Then what you do is you send them a second notice. Notice of fault and opportunity to cure. That's what you do, okay? And if they don't do that, you send them a notice of default. You claim the stuff. You do it. You go after it. You can. So, anyways, I don't like to use attorneys. I'm a pro se litigant, so I don't do any of that stuff. But yeah, if you had a slip and fall and you got injured, it's true, right? Well, then you should be properly compensated for that negligence and harm and any other torts that you could find applicable to your case. Vaccine effects. Do you still feel those who received it are in danger of death very soon? You talking about the vaccine, the little Jimmy Jam, the little okay? So yes, people who have received it have a problem unless you apply balanced protocol. That's it. If you don't, you can do some things that'll help support it and stuff like that by, various means of all the principles that we all can understand. But yeah, it's going to be a problem. We're gonna see more problems. It's unfortunate, but um, I'm a proud pureblood. Never had a shot in my life. Nope, none of it. No, none of it. They didn't get me, boy. Never, not even for close. Principal understanding of enviro is key. That's right. Example, good pool pump got struck by lightning. Okay, fine, replace. Now all of a sudden you have a new RF transmitter outside master bedroom, says the pool guy. Well, listen, I will tell you, don't be dogmatic, okay? If you have um, a low output RF transmitter on something like your pool controller, so you can manipulate it with your cell phone. I don't think that's the end of the world. Don't be too crazy with it. But if you have that and a router and everything's Bluetooth and all your smart TVs and all your things, and then it becomes a source form dose frequency and duration issue, and that would be it. I don't have any of those things because convenience is the quickest path to death. People love convenience. That's really what they love to do, man. And that's really the number one cause. Anyways. All right, y'all, it's been fun. 5 minutes. We're going to sign off. Anything else? TikTok? Been a little quiet over there. Not so many questions tonight, but that's okay. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Didn't have any haters coming there tonight. None of the blue hair. None of the blue hair people. That's kind of funny. They always got blue hair. They're always obese and have blue hair and, have all kinds of pronouns at their bio. It's pretty crazy. Cracks me up. Well, I mean, toxic people are toxic people, Can't fix stupid is what my mom used to say. How do you neutralize EMF without removing it? You can't. You can't neutralize EMF without removing it. It cannot be done. You're not going to do it with orgonite. You're not going to do it with a coil. You're not going to do it with the crystals. You're not going to do it with the chi wave. None of that. No pendulums. None of it. How you neutralize EMF is with a power switch. You turn off the power. That's how you do it. When compromised with autoimmune issues, do you receive to stay away from the oxalates and or FODMAPs and or nightshades? It gets confusing. No, I don't. I don't. Nope. Remember, all disease is autoimmune. Remember, that's a funny term, okay? Autoimmune. Your body automatically is immune, and of course, it's going to manifest on attacking your cells and tissues. So that's what you got, okay? But no, I don't do those. I rarely ever have to take patients off of or have them avoid oxalates and FODMAPs or nightshades. It's funny as all get out. Like for instance, what I was talking the other day. So there's something called goji berries. Gochu, I think is what it is in Chinese medicine. Um, I should know that, being a doctor of Oriental medicine as well. But goji berries are nightshades. But we use those for fatigue and chi deficiency. So imagine that. Okay. What's your brand of coffee? Listen, I'm going to shout out to Andrew Salisbury and Purity Coffee. That's my brand. That's what I like at Purity. I was going to launch one. I got sidetracked. Purity was going to help me source and do that. I have a balanced protocol approach to coffee to where I'm still going to. It's just back burnered for now. I had to divert energy because I have an autonomic nervous system and a parasympathetic nervous system targeted coffee source based upon how it's produced and how much caffeine versus niacin is in it and stuff like that. But that will come later. But if you guys want a good quality coffee brand, no affiliate link, nothing like that, is Purity. It's fantastic. I know the owner and his family are fantastic, and their values are amazing at bringing the best coffees in the world. And there you go. So Purity. It's because you're not on TikTok. I am on TikTok. I'm on TikTok all night. I got 9,300 likes on TikTok so far since I've been on here tonight. When you eat, is it normal to poop 5 minutes later, or 10 minutes? Yes, that's what you actually want to do. That's a great indicator. If I'm going to go a little TMI from your doc, that's what I do. Okay, within 45 minutes, sometimes it's 5 to 10 minutes later. It just kind of depends upon how relaxed I am or different things like that. I like to mindfully eat when I sit down. But yeah, hey, it's just like a baby, right? Those parents like myself, you give the baby a little meal and then what do they give you? A diaper. They eat and they poop. They eat and they poop. That's all little kids do, man. Is you feed them and then they poop. And that's a great indicator of, bowel tone. So yes, it is normal to poop that soon after. Everybody who knows me, that's what it is. I'm not afraid to poop in public. Okay, I will lay down the toilet paper nest and get down in a restaurant. I don't give a damn. Yep. Was that a little TMI? Did I go a little? Was that a little too much? A little too much. Okay, what exactly is happening when holding an RF meter against a crystal and phone? I'd have to see it specifically. Remember, crystals have a piezo effect, okay? So they can channel it, but they're not a source of it, nor is it going to absorb it, right? It's also a matter of deflection. So whenever you're using a meter, it's important to remember if it is a single axis or a 3-axis meter, and so that has to do with it. And what meter? Okay, some meter their sensitivity on the inside is blocked by all kinds of things. Leather, okay, a nail. It's smoke and mirrors. Levels do not go down when bringing shungite or tourmaline next to it. I do it in my Enviro course. I have a video of me doing it. I literally took the EMF source and stacked those organite, shungite stuffed pyramids all around it, and didn't do shit. Didn't do it. So I have not seen that. If you're watching it on video, that's one thing. Doing it in real life is a whole nother thing. Are all diseases adaptive protective mechanisms? I would think so. Yep, they're your body's proper response to various things affecting it. What's your take on the medical medium? He is a complete and utter fraud. Full stop. It's a joke. Have you guys ever seen him do this little way? It's horrible, right? I think because when you get in with Hollywood and you sucker all those people and you do all that stuff, listen, anybody can tell you to get sunshine and ground and pray and meditate. Okay, there are things. So not everything he says is whatever, but the whole thing with the celery juice and all these other kind of things, he's a fraud. What he's done is he's also gone, because I know the works of people like Edgar Casey, for instance. My mom was a big metaphysical lady, loved Shirley MacLaine, and the Ascended Masters, and you start talking like this. And I lived in Virginia Beach, Virginia, on 34th Street, right there across from the Thunderbird Inn in the Mayflower, which is just blocks down from the Association for Research and Enlightenment, which was the Edgar Cayce School. And I spent many an hour in there and doing the whole looking behind the blinds. Is it a wavy line? Is it a square? Is it a thing or whatever? I used to flip not burgers, but pancakes and eggs at Waffles and Things on Laskin Road, which was right next door to the Heritage Store, which sold all the Edgar Cayce remedies and everything like that. I actually, maybe I'm going too much. I proposed to my first wife in the Japanese garden behind the Association for Research and Enlightenment. So my point is, I have studied all that stuff and I found it to be an empty barrel. But yet there's some really cool things that Edgar Cayce did that were basically naturopathic and botanical physician stuff. And the medical medium has gone and grabbed that kind of fun stuff and then now puts it out there in the mainstream and acting like it's all new and stuff like the violet ray tube. I have one. Um, it's just bogus. It's literally the Wizard of Oz effect, and he's a complete and utter fraud. Just absolute nonsense. I have a great disdain for him specifically, and you guys can tell him I said so because this is my personal opinion. Okay, I'm talking about the blue hairs not being in here. It's because you're not on TikTok. Oh, right. Well, I am on TikTok and whatever, but yeah, here in Balance Nation, I don't think we have any blue hair people, which is pretty funny. How often do you do these Q&As? Well, this is the second one for Balance Nation. I've been doing them for months on TikTok, right? So if everybody here on TikTok, you probably hear me talking to multiple people. I'm multiple streaming to YouTube and Facebook. So I'm trying to do it every week. So I'm back. You guys said, hey, listen, and 10% of Balance Nation said, come on back. We'd love to have you. So you got me. I just didn't want to come back if y'all didn't want to love a brother. But now that you love a brother, I'll be there. Okay. How many meals a day do you recommend? It depends upon your metabolic status. Depends if you are a person in slow oxidation, mixed oxidation, or fast oxidation. Remember, it's all about you. Fast oxidizers, they might need, 3 to 4 meals a day. Mixed oxidation, 3. If you're in slow oxidation, 1, 2, 3. So in other words, everybody's different. It depends upon your current metabolic status. Best cure for obesity. Balance protocol. Balance protocol. That's the cure for obesity. Because why? You don't lose weight, you gain health. When you gain health, the weight comes off, and you get that for free. Velda, what's up, Velda? My Velda. Hey, Velda, I just want to let you know I have to disclose that I actually refer to your first name as a certain profile of patients out there. I call them the Veldas when I train the other doctors out there. So I think of you often. So nice to see you back, and it's nice to be back. Last one. Any other books you recommend similar to Biochemical Individuality, Nutrition of Your Mind, and the Chemistry of Man? Okay. I'm chewing on my skin. Let me think here. Yes. Let me see here. Let me go to my little list. Let me see here. Let me run some down for you. Okay. I'll give you a couple suggestions. I have so many books, you guys. I just, that's my jam. I love books. So let's see. Depends. Oh man, I want to go. All right, well, I'm gonna go here. I think you could get into polyvagal theory. I think that's great. You can look up those. Anything by Porges, Porges. I think that would be a good one, and most people can handle that. Um, One that'll be kind of funny. I don't know if how you guys want to go things, but there's a book called Punk Science. I read that last year. I think that was pretty cool. by Samantha Lofton. Punk Science, Inside the Mind of God, Inside the Mind of God. Pretty cool. Let's see here. If you guys want to get into drugs, if you want to, if you want to understand about drugs, um, Goodman and Gilman's Pharmacological Basis of Therapeutics. You need to know both sides. That's a great place, for that. Think. Let's see. Trying going through some stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of Pfeiffer. I learned a lot from his work. So Pfeiffer. He has a book called Zinc and Other Micronutrients. It's a great classic. You can also get into this is Carl Pfeiffer, by the way. He has a book called Mental and Elemental Nutrients. Another great book to add to your repertoire. I think that one's really good. You can get into the influence of ocular light perception on metabolism in man and animals by Hollwich, Hollwich. That's nice. Of course, you got to get into some Norman Vincent Peale. You got to get into the power of positive thinking. See, that's mindset stuff. That's balance protocol key 3 stuff. Really, really important there. I do recommend people should go and get Cohen's book, right? The Truth About Contagion. We disagree, but hey, listen, we don't always have to agree on everything, right? But I think it's a good reveal for people to kind of start thinking a little bit differently. Let's see what else we got. Listen, let's go more mindset. Okay, you can grab a book by Richard Bandler, who I learned in NLP from, and it's called Get the Life You Want. Get the Life You Want. It's a great book. It's really good. I mean, one of my must-haves for Key 3. Of course, there's Becoming Your Own Banker. That's wonderful. Get into infinite banking concept. If you guys don't know about that, it's legit. I use it. It's awesome sauce. Oh, Nash. Nash brought the heat on that one, boy. Pretty good. For my gentlemen out there, The Way of the Superior Man. It's a must read. So I'm giving you some of my Key 3 books. Yep. Way of the Superior Man. Spiritual Guide to Mastering the Challenges of Women, Work, and Sexual Desire. Y'all listen, it's good. But I don't know if you're ready for the predatory female. That's still too deep. I don't want to get you into that one. Anyway, you guys are going to kill me. Okay, let me see. Let me come up with one more. Oh, listen, I'm a big fan of Sheldrake. Good old Rupert Sheldrake. Rupert, the Englishman. Okay. Um, Science Set Free. Science Set Free, fantastic book. Morphic Resonance by him, another great book. Science and Spiritual Practices by Sheldrake. Kabam. All right, that's all that's all I'm gonna get you in on. That's some more books to get you going. You're welcome. Thank you. I'm greatly appreciated. I received that. That's awesome. You'll buy them all next week. Good. I love the wisdom shining through your hairlines. That's right. I'm getting a little thin, guys. I'm 50. It is what it is. Velda, just wanted you to know that over the years I have referred several people to you, including some relatives. Well, that's wonderful, Velda. None of them has reached out to me, and none of them have become patients. But I appreciate the referrals. That's always nice. All right, one more thing on TikTok. I'm gonna scroll through here and see if I missed any questions for my TikTok people. Been focusing on Facebook tonight. Oh man, gamer, I love you, brother. Thank you. You appreciate that. You pushed me over 12,000 tonight. All right. So here's the deal. I'll be back next week. I might come on later this week if I'm feeling a little frisky, but I'm gonna try to keep things to doing this on the regular so we can have some fun. Monday nights is usually my thing. Sometimes Sundays. Okay. But just, hey, as a follow-up, everybody, here's the deal. I know some of you guys have been patient. Some of you guys are aware of balance protocol or not. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, balanceprotocol.com is where you want to go to learn more information about my life's work, my method, and the framework that I develop and put together, and then I help patients resolve complex chronic conditions. Okay, balanceprotocol.com. Go through the Prime course. It's 3 modules. It's about 4 hours of time, and I really lay it all out. Recorded that years ago, but it still holds true. Haven't adjusted anything. And that's a great place to start. If you are struggling with any type of health concern, if you're mired in the noise and confusion of the info space, if you have a difficult time knowing who and what to believe, I'm going to tell you that the difference is I believe you are a category of one and no one else is like you. The context of your unique history and situation should be centered to the narrative of what you should be doing. Everything should be data driven. You cannot make most decisions to get any real leverage in resolving health complaints if you are not doing proper functional laboratory assessments, and then those need to be viewed through the lens of the protocol and the framework that I issue. Okay, I make no qualms about that. We're here to help you. Your first step is the Balance Protocol Prime course, which is free. If that resonates with you and you want some help, all you do is follow the links in that course, and you'll be able to schedule a discovery call with either myself or a member of my team. It's no cost or obligation, and we are able to talk with you briefly, see if we're a great match, and then give you your next step. Okay? All right, you guys, it's been a lot of fun. Love you to death, and I will see you guys real soon. And until next time, live life in balance.